What brings you here? What quest have you come upon? You've come to see the mayhem? The catastrophe? Or both? Well, on any given day, you could probably have both. So today is not very pleasant. It is -8 with a wind chill of -18. Straight out of the north. Coming down like the Khyber Pass. It's brisk, I tell ya. Tempted to put the cows in the corrals to get out of the wind, but probably won't. Because I want the cows up the field a bit. Because I want to open up the side bale yard to get some oat straw out and put them in the bale feeders. So we'll be doing that today. Here on Wreck-It Ranch. Nah, that doesn't work. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go out and open the gate. Where's a gate boss when you need one? Yeah, I'm at number 1. Kind of took a drive up here. I was like, there's an awful lot of litter. Vegetation litter, not litter, garbage. Vegetation litter up here. Plus, the old shelter belt is in number 1 is probably the best. Ironically, it's kind of because back in the day when we still cropped these paddocks, a certain somebody with a sprayer with a prevailing westerly wind toasted all the rest of the shelter belts. Why is this one so good? Because there was no crop beyond this tree row. Sadly. So yeah, I dropped the first number 1 there, dropped the number 2 there, and dropped the second number 1 up here. Because the cows only got 2 bales yesterday of hay, and then I blew out what was left of their Bennett bale. So today they get 3 hay bales. So I think we're going to do that is we'll do 2 and 3. So they'll get 5 bales every 3 days. Yes. So 5 bales will do them 2 days. 2.5 bales per day. Math is hard, okay. So yeah. So the plan is, why I did this, is the girls will head up here. I gotta pull the panel out of the way to get into the side bale yard. That is one of the projects, or that's a group of projects right there for year 5 of our 5-year plan, to try and get all of the big projects wrapped up by the end of next year. That's why I want that shed built. There's a group of 4 gates that need to go in that corner there. So that way we can just open and close the gates in and out of that side bale yard to get our, that will be for edible straw in that side bale yard. So, hopefully these guys will leave me alone long enough to get in there and get these bales pulled out. So, we'll get going. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. That panel that sits here, so there's supposed to be 2 gates in this opening. And 2 gates in that opening. We'll talk about whatever's going to happen here later on if we do this corral here. Anyway, so yeah, this little side bale yard here is all 4-year-old oat straw. So it's sweet straw. So some of these are maybe not in the best shape, but you get twine and net wrap that's this old, and it wasn't a stack, some of it. So we'll set the 3 up here, pull the net wrap, switch the bale feeders over, because I got the girls shut out of here right now. I'm hoping they figured out that I've put the rest of the hay out in number 1, so I'll get that dug out. I don't know if that'll go into the bale processor to get it thrown out over there, because I don't want it to sit here. I'd like to put it out on the light ground so that way it can compost out there. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll grab 2 more bales and I'll unwrap them. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I love my cows, but sometimes I think that they're not the smartest bovines in the world. I literally had to lead them up here. They put their heads down and were eating the first bale and didn't even watch me put the other 2 bales down. So now they're all acting like, oh, look what we just found. Some succulent forages. Honestly. There's old ski slope. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Creatures. Swear to gosh, I could eat every single one of them in a burger. Soon enough. Especially that squirtsy, eh, Mrs. Piper Duck? Okay, so I got the straw bales done. That's our lady with the sore foot. She is looking a million times better. And I never did medicate her. I hold off as long as she doesn't start slipping backwards, like her condition and whatnot. Because you cannot have her drop her calf. That's a huge no-no. But we do try to stay away from medications at all possible. So yeah, like I said, that one there is probably our best. And the nice thing is, because that is the most continuous shelter belt, it helps the yard from the prevailing storms. It catches a lot of the snow before it ends up coming in through the trees. The nice thing also is 2 years ago, Conservation District, hey Ryan, did us a great solid. We bought a bunch of evergreen saplings. So in here, it's kind of hard to make out until you're actually like standing right over them. They stitched in, oh there's one right there. Where is he? Right there, middle of the screen. They stitched in a whole bunch of new Scots pines for us. So I'm hoping by the time the Scots pines get up to that 10-15 feet, plan is to just come in and trim out most of these Assiniboine poplars, because they don't last very long. They end up causing more damage than good. So we will trim them out, get rid of any of the other poplar that are coming in it, and just leave behind the evergreens, because that's the whole premise, is that this farm will be predominantly all evergreens. We did plant a lot of cottonwoods out in the other field, and they're doing well. They're really fast growing, but we're starting to see a problem with them migrating out of the shelter belt, so we might need to visit that problem at a later date. Anyway, the straw bales are in the feeders, and the panels put back, and let's get to the rest of the chores. Choresy. Is our wee girl doing really well on her Civaxil? Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, so they've got their 2 bales of number 1 grass alfalfa, and they've got a number 1 2025 alfalfa bales. So now, and you can tell, they're excited. They're very, very excited. So that's going to be the balance from here going on. And now that the wee tummies have kind of got used to being away from milk, is we're going to get this extra protein into them. So I'm going to do the bedding, and then I'll let her out. Woo! There's just something about full bale feeders and fresh bedding. Hey, Pulley! Is your sister? You checking on your sister? There's something about twins. They do migrate towards each other. It's almost a sin to split them up, but we've never had twin girls. I don't think it's twin girls. We've had twin boys. We've just never had twin girls. Actually, no, that tell a lie. Ty and oh, I should know this one. Not Freddie. Monty. Ty and Monty were twin girls. It must be twin boys then. I don't ever remember having twin boys. It's always a girl and a boy, or girls. Yeah, she's doing good. That's her at the trough there at the salt block. So we'll just keep at that. If she kind of shows signs of leveling off, we'll give her another treatment, because that's 3 days she's had that Subaxil on her. Yeah. They're doing pretty good. But I think next year we probably will look at least hauling all the steers straight off the cows. Maybe hold the heifers back, and that way it gives us time to work with what heifers we're going to keep. But, you know, because really at this point, whatever we make between the first week of November and the first week of January, we don't make that much more money keeping them an extra 2 months, and we take on a lot more risks. So yeah, anyway, you get on. So can someone tell me what that is? Because it comes out like making a toffee apple. I used my screwdriver, just went along scooping it and turning the screwdriver, and it would just build up into, it's just like a tar. This is like literally like toffee, except it doesn't taste as good. What is it? Some kind of a fuel conditioner? It obviously settles in the tank, because I stopped using this because I kind of had an inkling that I was getting water in my fuel from this tank not being really well sealed. And I started seeing that stuff and thought, well, maybe there's dust and stuff coming into the tank, but that ain't dust. It is stickier than all heck. So I was going to clean out as much as I can, and then it's not really going to matter because I'm just going to drop the fuel out of there. And if it's got a pile of dirt and water in it, then it's just going to get used for the cattle oilers or something like that. Like, it won't go to waste, but it's just... it's just gloopy. So yeah, just a normal bimetal saw on the Sawzall, just zip. So at least this way it's a nice lipless barrel now. So I'm gonna slide it in there, put a flute underneath there, and we'll get at her. So just cleaning up around the top here, brought over the old Red Devil, got it clean as I want to get it. I'm washing everything out anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm not really entirely sure what happens here. If you unscrew that, then that's you just right in the tank, because it's going to be a lot of fuel come out. I have to set up some sort of a funnel, but there's no time like the present. Well, that's the longest 10 minutes of my life. So there's definitely gunk in the bottom of the tank. See some flakes and crud there. It's hard to tell yet. Yeah, it would have been better if I'd had a clean barrel to start with, but a lot of that stuff you see on the center part wasn't there before. Don't know what's hanging out of the bottom of the tank right now. So, yeah. So we'll take the top part out of the tank, and I think what we'll end up doing is taking some fuel and my big fuel syringe, wherever it is. Where did it go? It was here. Oh. That right there, sit on that bucket. So I'll use that to try and fire the fuel across there. because there's no way to get at the top of this side of the tank. I don't think so. Yeah, there's no openings. It's weird, like it dips down, but I think that the back it goes across and at the front it's level. So if I can find a way to kind of squirt the fuel over there, we might get a rinse and then we'll have an idea. Then, well, I think when we pull the pipes up out of the tank, that'll give us definitive answers to what stage the fuel lines are. So, oh, I reek of diesel, and it's supper time. Boss lady's gonna be mad at me. Thanks for all the well wishes. Mrs. Piper Doug is feeling better slightly. Christina is well on the way to men's. She's back at school, hobbling around, but it'll take a couple of weeks before she'll know just how much better it's going to feel. So yeah. Cruddy McCrud. Yeah, so that's the sad thing about having a loader bracket. If that wasn't there, I could have just slid the drum right underneath it and just yoinked it out. And that would have taken most of the sediment with it, going out fast, but because I have to do it slowly, a lot of the sediment will have stopped and stuck to the side. So, like I said, I'll have to do a rinse out, so that's no big deal. Lovely sunshiny day, particularly cold. It's like -17, so Piper Doug had forgot to plug the chore tractor in, so it got plugged in this morning. It should be ready to go here shortly, so I figured for half an hour I'd just come and play with this. So, remembering it wasn't cleaned out. Now it's hard to see because there's a lot of reflection from lots of stuff, but a lot of that speckle was not there before, so there is a fair bit of chit down there. So the pickup is wide open at the bottom. I don't know if that's the way it was from the get-go, so it is what it is. I think the one thing I remembered from before is the level sender. There was something wrong. Well, it's not attached to it anymore, and I can't see how it goes back in. So, might need to order a new one. I don't know if it's that important. Not to me. Just getting the tractor going is important. The one thing I did know was the actual drawing hose wasn't very tight. So what we might end up doing is, because I think that's this back one here, I think we might end up just pulling it out because it might be airlocking. I don't know, folks. I need one of y'all to come and sponsor me on this, because I don't know if you all know this, but I'm not exactly a mechanic. Now, my new pump is working great. It is not leaking, and the water separator is also not leaking. I would like to just bypass that sucker though, because really not feeling it. Ironically, we could forgo the primer pump. We literally could run the hose right to the injection pump. I'm pretty sure the injection pump could pull the fuel right from the tank. Probably not. Wishful thinking. Anyway, so I think probably that'll be one of the things, is we might as well just change the suction hose anyway. Because if I pull it out later, I'll be able to show you it's not great. So this is the vent hose, which goes out that top hole and goes upwards. So I don't know where it comes out, but it's a material. The only shitty part is It is pretty loose, so that lets grit and dirt and crud in there anyway. And the return hose is some sort of a fabric cobble, because it's a small hose, which would probably be the original, and then it goes up to this big hose, which is in questionable state. So I don't know why they did that, because you got one small and the bigger one. So anyway, probably while I'm this deep into it, just do it. Yeah, we figured out what that thing was that was hanging out the bottom. Where'd you go? Yeah, it's the safety chain for the filler cap. This thing, which was jiggered off, so I don't know whether we'll put that back on or not. But yeah, probably. I know I can hear all of you right now at this point. I gotta do a bunch of wiring on this tractor. These grommets are probably worn through. Anyway, squirrel moment. A lot of you are doing the whole, just change the hoses while you're this far in there, Doug. Just do it. Where all the price of hoses are. Yeah. So this is that stuff that got raked. Yep. Holy moly! I feel I think the Caldwell's mail processor's on fire. Yep. She's dusty. But there is green in there, so that's the part that's kind of hard to question. That's why we're definitely going to use it up. If I had thought of it just leaving it there to rot, but it made dry food, so it's not moldy or anything, it's just dusty. Oh. They're not having it. They're like, what's this? This is not what we ordered for our lunch. Oh, they'll be happy. Number one. Yeah, number one. Numero two. See, the number two bale that's over by the walkway, they weren't really cleaned that up. But then again, they had 3 really good bales yesterday. This stuff over here looks like they picked through it pretty good. So, I'm going to lay a strip right alongside it and get these girls looked after. Sure. Look at them. You better have good stuff on there, mister. What you girls doing? You both your tags tucked up in your head. What the heck's that about? Hey, bird. They're all heads down. Is that my joker? Hi, sweet jokes. Hi, sweet girl. I definitely don't want to. Oh, 29. Yeah. Little Freddy. They're definitely looking round enough. Hi, Yoslin. Hey, girls. Hi, Chippy. How's my Sager? Should see the size of your boy now, darling. Dart. Yeah. You were a long shot that we kept you, but man, oh man, do you make nice calves for a wee cow. Oh, you're not so wee anymore there, Sigger. Hey, there's a little Lone Star. Comes from royalty. She's only really petted when she's in the corrals. Not like our Sigger. Hey, darling. Anyway, we'll get about getting about. So yeah, this isn't what's left of number one. So, and this is the part where it being sort of not as much snow yet this year. Because, well, you can plow the snow and put the hay down like this, which we do. But when you start using bale feeders, what they end up doing is they pull it out and then they kind of stand and poop on it right by the bale feeder. So you end up with this big pad of waste. Whereas it seems like out here when they're eating, they don't waste as much. Now I might just be because, you know, it's stretched out, it doesn't look as bad, but I don't know, I think they do better eating off the ground. You know, they're wasting away, look at them. Yeah. So, kids are gonna make a gate for this opening and for the opening over there. But we'll be making more for all the paddocks. Eventually we'll be breaking them up into sections, so that way we can tighten up our rotation grazing. Well, we did well cleaning that up. There was a bit of foxtail barley in that bale. You can see some cattails in there, so it was a bit of a slough bale. So once it's through the processor, it shakes a lot of the black out of it. You can see a lot more green there. But man, it was dusty, as you saw. So I'd far rather it's laying here and they can do with it what they want. What would be nicer would be if we had like a hilltop somewhere, like what's at the bottom of the section. That's where this would be great, if we could do this at the bottom of the section, but there's nowhere down there that we can water without hauling water to them, and then it would just freeze anyway. So here it is, here it lies. So yeah, I'll have to make a gate for there. So yeah, these are all improvements we've done in the last 5 years, is putting in these sorting gates. And it was nice to get that wall fixed. Now you guys just stay up there now. And yeah, so they've started picking at these straw bales, so I love it when a plan comes together. Because that was the second year with our renter. We got the oats from up at his farm. So yeah, they'll pick through that. They'll get those down to about halfway, and then we'll pull the bale feeder rings off, and they'll do that. And then we'll start the new ones. So yeah, it helps bulk them up because we only have so much of this old, not old, but low quality hay that's just for roughage, just for filler. Because we know they're getting enough energy and they're getting enough protein. We know that. We just gotta fill them. That's the other part. That's where silage is nice. Because silage, you can put all the stuff in there between your proteins and your minerals and all the rest of it. And then the majority of corn plants is filler. Like just stem, there's nothing in it. There's not a lot of eating, there's not a lot of value, should I say, in stem, which is the majority of corn. It's whatever leaves you can get as green as possible, and then the cobs. Well, not the cobs, the grain. There's nothing in the cobs either. Because when you have silage in a bunk feeder, you'll notice it's a lot of stem that's left over in the bottom of the feeder. Ah, riding on again. Okay, let's get to doing something. Oy, oy, oy. Forgot I had this stack of old boards laying in here by this net wrap, so I think it's got to get moved. See how much of it is going to be salvageable. How much is just a waste of time. Woo! I think there's another pile just the other side there too. So it's a problem, we've never had anywhere to store stuff. This could all have been on a pallet inside the shed that we're going to build, but never had one. Gonna have one. Whew. Oh, it's coffee time. Get used to that for the next 5 months. 4 months anyway. That is a quiet evening. afternoon. It's actually just almost 5 o'clock. And lo and behold, it's almost a full moon as well, so yay! It's ironic, they don't stay in here in the shelter. They further rather stay out there. Weird. So bedded the boys, bedded the golden girls, gave them a new bail. We'll go and show you Panda Girl. Love my new setup. Baby lassie, how you doing? Hey? You still don't trust me after I poked you with those needles, hey? You wee girl. Yeah, you're doing better. Okay, let's go let you out for some water. These big tubby beggars. You coming? Holy moly, she finished it all. You round thing. Come on, darling. You can't leave this open because the other ones will come out. Shandy. There's Ruby's girl. Bowie's girl, they're not keeping you. You're a troublemaker. You coming out? Gate's open. Hey, Dardius. We were just talking to your mommy earlier, Sigger. You know. Big chungus. Is your brother? Yeah, calves are settled right in. They really do like that #1 alfalfa though. Holy moly. So the core is actually a lot more grass in it, so next bale will definitely bring in more alfalfa through and through for them. Where's Mrs. Magoo? Oh, she must be, oh there she is. There's Mrs. Piper Doug's one. And there's Electra, that dark red and white one. Deadpool! Buddy! This is weird. Anyway, my hand's going numb. Okay. Brand new pipe from the tank over to the lift pump. I've cleaned the ends off of the return line, which is not as important, but I figured as well to get rid of that and whatever this is, because as you can see it's crumbling just to bits, but that's the return line, so that's not that important. So now I just got to tuck back up the excess, figure out if I'm going to bypass the water separator, get rid of it completely. I just need to find a barb fitting for the side of the primer pump, and then tuck all this back up in, and then figure out what I'm going to do with the injection pump if I'm taking that top off. If any of you know a video on YouTube of doing this, put it in the comment section or send it to me, because I've never taken the top off of a CAV pump. Yeah, just looking at, I got to take those 2 bolts out to put that bracket back on and hook the parking brake back up again. I'm just hoping if I take those bolts out, a bunch of oil doesn't come out. But we'll find out together in the next episode of Piper Doug and the Tango Turd. Oh, tractor. Because, I don't know, there's a lot of crud came out of it, but I can't tell how much of that, if there's water on the bottom. That's the last stuff that came out of it. I don't know why it's being so smoky. Very odd. But then again, that stuff in there was also cattle oiler diesel. So there's insecticide in there, so that might be some of that too. So, but it was clear when oh yeah, I took the fuel out of there. Anyway, other story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pail out of here into other buckets for storage, get down to the bottom and then see if it separates at the bottom. So you'll have to tune in to the next video to see where on earth I get to with this. So, taddy bye, folks. Oh, golly gosh. What is he doing?